Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, the 26th day of September 2025. Happy Friday. And I hope that you're all doing well this Friday, that your family and you are safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family, in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health, are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in health, who work with the first responders, every day trying their best to save lives, and those that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demands that cause these industries to exist. Also, special shout out to the people in South Florida yesterday that saw this woman who did she did a podcast and in Tampa, and podcast she announced she was going to kill herself and her two kids. And somebody saw the podcast, and within minutes, they caught her before she could kill herself. She was going to drown her kids and then kill herself. She had her kids in the pool when somebody came and got her. Shout out to the people that responded, the first responders, quickly to save those children. Anyway, blessings to them. Blessings on the 700 plus thousand people that are homeless in the United States of America. Men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans. Blessings upon them also, for theirs is the kingdom. So, yesterday, I love listening to Mike Brown in a sense, but I don't like listening to us in a sense. And the reason is, I like straightforward to the point answers. That was Ted. Straightforward to the point, blunt. Just stop BSing and give me the word. Mike Brown don't do that. Mike Brown likes to talk around stuff, kind of hint at stuff, and change subject right in front of you. Like, okay, so somebody asked this question yesterday. They said, of course, coming to the Knicks as the new head coach, you're going to reach out to the Jalen Brunsons and the Cats. But what was your message to the Mitchell Robinsons and the Deuce McBrides when you came? So when he talked about Cat and Brunson, he talked in terms of what he was expecting them basketball-wise. He wanted Brunson more off the ball. He wanted to create more opportunities for Cat. He wanted Cat to run the floor and trail the play and be ready to catch the ball and either rim run or shoot. Okay, he gave some specifics. But with respect to Deuce and MitchRob, well, with MitchRob, he started talking about rim running, rim running. Talked a lot about rim running. But with Deuce, he said, I wanted to get to know him. Like, in other words, like, what's your favorite color? In other words, he did not go into specifics, which, you might think, well, there's gonna be a contingent of knuckleheads, the same ones that were saying Deuce was on the trading block. Stupid, but no, he's got plans. Deuce is a major piece that he's going to utilize. Smart to do so. He's not really giving the details of what he plans to do with Mr. McBride. But just based on what Deuce brings to the table, point of attack defense, 94-foot full court defense against anybody. Now, he's more successful from some another. Like, we know TJ McConnell kind of Deuce's kryptonite. But anybody else, DeJounte Murray, the leprechaun, he will lock up anybody else, and he will pick you up 94, okay? So you got that. Deuce is a spot-up shooter. And if you didn't know, Deuce little ass will flush it on somebody, okay? So he's athletic enough to get to the paint and do that. If Deuce, like I said, last year you started seeing him add a little teardrop floater to his game. I expect that to be expanded this year. Now, remember, last year he only played 64 games, had the knee, it was a knee early in this year. He sprained his knee and was coming back from that the whole season. So But this year he declared he was very healthy, ready to go. He's looking at a lot of ball movement, off ball movement, body movement. He's saying there's going to be less times when the Knicks offense is stagnant. I think we're in for a big season for Mr. Deuce this year. I'm excited about that because, this is Deuce high. And MitchRob declared about his farm. So he started a farm in the Nashville, Tennessee area. He said fresh chickens, beef, fresh food. He has people farm it, prepare it, and cook it for him, as you're supposed to do when you're a professional making that kind of money, which means he's been eating right, which means that's why he's in tremendous shape, which means we're in for a big year. And again, I'm expecting when Brown talks about rim running, it takes a lot of energy. And MitchRob, if you remember from the past, like he would complain once in a while saying he felt like he was on a treadmill because he was running up and down the floor and not touching the ball, if you remember. I kind of ignore that stuff because he's being paid to run up and down the floor and get offensive rebounds and protect the rim. Touching the ball ain't important. But, you do want to reward the big man a little bit, which is why Mike Brown mentioned alley-oops. Running and alley-oops. Oops. So they're going to have to guard that. And when they do, floor and spaces open up for the other cats that are all savage. OG, McCall, Brunson, Cat, Deuce, whoever. The other assassins that's out there. Because MitchRob requires attention. And as he correctly said, that is Brown yesterday, he is one of the top offensive rebounds in the game, and he could win you a game strictly from that. As we, as Knicks Nation, know, as Cleveland, as Philly, as dirty-ass Embiid, ask them about MitchRob. They don't want to see him. He took Cleveland's lunch money, and he told Embiid where to drop off, as Embiid and his dirty grabbed him by the leg, as we know. I like what we getting ready to see here. See, I liked Deuce and Mitch when they came in the league. Both of them at different times. Mitch was first. Deuce came a few years later. But I wanted them to play from the beginning. But, you had to go through Tom Thibodeau's process, which is cool. And Deuce is now, even if Tiz was here, he'd be playing a big role. This is his 5th season. He's ready. Knicks are ready. You know who's not ready? The NBA. It's on this year, yo. So Deuce, I'm expecting at least 25 minutes a game. And the reason is because he played 25 minutes a game last year. I'm expecting him to get that this year. And the reason he is going to do that is because, unfortunately for you McBride haters, he's going to play point guard behind Brunson, and he's going to play off guard because he's playing 2 positions. And he's going to be out there on the floor filling in on both those positions. Not even including the nights where there's going to be, Deuce is probably going to start. I'm going to give you a number. I think he's going to start at least 20 games this year. I think he's going to start about 20 games. Although I have to caveat that because I was looking at Malik Monk, who was the 6th man for Sacramento. And there were a couple of, in fact, in his 2 successful seasons with Sacramento, Malik Monk never started a game, which was unusual because he had at least 11 different starters, in Sacramento during the course of a season, at least 11 different starters. Malik Monk played 77 games, started none, which told me that he was very concerned with bench scoring, which is why he kept Malik. Not that Malik was not capable of starting, but he didn't have the bench scoring that he needed. So he kept Malik coming off the bench. Smart move. Malik ended up starting with the new coach, but I'm saying that was a smart move. With the Knicks, though, you got Jordan Clarkson. You got Landry Shamet. You got Yabusele. You got bench scoring. Let's get this game on the road, baby. I'm excited. Let's get this thing going because I want to see this. Hey, listen. Brown talks a good game. He does. He talks a good game. He's very slick in how he talks. Talks a lot without saying a lot. Okay? He does. He talks a lot without saying a lot. Talks a lot of cliche because he ain't giving away his game plan. I like that, but You better perform on the court. I think he's going to. I like the little clips I've seen of him in practice so far. He's drilling them. And you know what? We ain't seen yet O'Connor. O'Connor is important. O'Connor's running the defense. That's going to be an important dude, okay? With Brown, okay? So Brown talking a lot of offensive stuff because that's what he knows what most of y'all want to hear, offensive stuff. But on the DL, it's the defense going to win us these chips. So between Brown and O'Connor, they talking defense, which to me is really more important when you're talking about who's starting Deuce, Mitch. It's the defensive impact, not the offensive impact. Too many people talk about, well, Mitch can't shoot. That don't give a crap. Mitch wins basketball games. So does Deuce. That's what you want. What do you want? You want him to shoot threes or you want to win 60 games? Because that's what will happen if he's on the floor. And that's what we need. You all enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you. Oh, before I cut off, I want to thank all y'all for your well wishes about my mom. That was touching, very touching. Very touching. I thank the people on the Bible study last night and all you on the Knicks channel that came through. Listen, I appreciate all of that. Really do. To me, you know, I'm not as experienced in this as some of y'all. Having lost my dad a year and a half ago, and now my mom is declining pretty, rapidly. And we're trying to take steps to alleviate her pains as much as we can. But it's hard to watch. But, a lot of people have been through worse than I have. And I want to thank y'all for all your support and all your appreciation. All your love. Greatly appreciate it. Please be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. So.